Hello! Right, this is what's going to be part 3. We'll see how well this goes after yesterday's evening's attempt. Now what happened, I was trying to tidy this up and didn't quite like how it went. And I'd also expanded here to get the road, the avenue around the corner. But I didn't like how it turned out, so I'm going to try again. And the video I edited out the end, but now the OpenShot program seems to cause my machine to blue screen during the export process. So I'm doing that on a very old computer that I have, about 10 years old, and that's chugging away on the other side. So although you have no idea what day it was that I did that, or what day it is now in fact, so but suffice to say, it shouldn't be too long before I get that one up, and this one will follow, and I'll see how editing goes. If it's more trouble than it's worth, then I'm sorry, but these could be slightly boring, but let's see how that goes. So I want to bring it down to just make the curves nicer. And now I'm just going to do some land leveling, maybe a bit of terraforming. I'm going to try and avoid that because it's just at the moment. I'm going to do this the slow way and see where it takes us. So the problem I did have is that this piece of island here is sticking out, so let me put that onto 2. And the whole 2 bridges scenario just really wasn't working for us. So I'm going to try and make it 1 bridge. Okay, right. So I did try this a few minutes ago, and it looked like we had some sort of gradient problem as well. Try and create some bridges on something that's a little less fussy. Just okay, so this bridge can go. Just level up on the other side. I think it's actually this square here that's causing a problem, but let's see what happens. Let's get rid of these, get rid of these. That seems happier. And this seems happier. Right, so now we need a starter piece on either side of the bridges for each track. So the agenda here is just, we'll start by making this look a bit nicer. Extend the land on the other side of the high-speed station again, just to get around that corner. and do some neighbourhood connections on that motorway. I did check the documentation, and I have remembered how that's done. As I say, yesterday is something that I've not done for a while because I've not really been moving around motorways, or highways even, too much. I was using a network widening rod. Okay, that's looking much better. So we ground high speed. It also less levitation, although I think we might have that problem here. But it's a small enough gap we can pretend it's okay. So it only really needs to go up again over here. So might as well keep it on the low. I do tend to change my mind about things regularly, but once you've got a city established, that's not normally so much of a problem. That's because I'm recording it. I'm doing it in smaller chunks. I'm trying to be a bit more careful as well. And ooh. Let's disconnect. That's quite nice there. Let's get the starter piece. I think we can get away with that and some disconnections. Let's try that again. Let's just disconnect, delete that. I'm not in love with those bridges. I'll point the mouse over it in a second. There's one point I'm tempted to leave as it is. Can you imagine being on a high-speed train and jumping over that? Looks like something out of the A-Team. I might have to flatten it out before I try this, but let's see. Wow, that is something. Okay, so I think we can safely get rid of these now. It's something I was saying in the last video. I don't think I cut it out because it was not part of the last part I was doing, but the curves, high-speed rail, should be something a bit more like the curves for the real railway mod. You know, a lot more smoother. I wouldn't want to be on this, for example, at 200 kilometers an hour. It's nearly as bad as the Dukes of Hazzard jumper earlier on. Alright, what have we got going on here? Okay. That was not what I wanted to do. So I might have to do that again. Keep going to the subway menu. Yeah, I've taken too much of that off. That is a shame. And I now don't have a marker, so this is going to be fun. That also means I have to scroll all the way to the bottom of the railway menu. Yes. So looking at the export in OpenShop for last night's video, that's now at 36% and it's been going probably for an hour now, but it doesn't blue screen of death. This is something my gaming computer does. I built it myself. I think it's the heat. But sometimes it just gets into a bit of a mood where it's I'm not doing this. It doesn't matter how many times you reboot it. You then just have to put up with it because tomorrow it will work absolutely fine. There's much need of me to do those ones. It's flattening out nicely, but there are times when you have to do both sides. Oops. Sorry about that. So, if this part comes in the video, you'll know that I'm still unable to edit. I mean, I'm not concerned too much about that. I can live with that. This crashes to desktop or blue screens of death, which usually is the killer, but I'm on a good roll with them at the moment. I think it was a Reddit post about 6 months ago where I didn't want to jinx it, but it seemed like it was a good 6 months since my last crash, so it might be a year. So if anything happens to see if this afternoon as not part of OpenShop, then that might still try and do that thing that we were talking about, but we'll see how that goes. So I am most definitely clearing this up and dropping a nice big fat save. We've briefly lost audio, and I think editing would be more trouble than it's worth, at least at the moment. I'm not complaining, it's summertime, I'm happy. There we go. So let's, I think it's too early in the session for some serious landscaping. let's try some neighbour connections. And I have the median. Drop there. And drop the real highway through. I hadn't done much work with real highway recently, as I said, so the last time I did any major work with it was before that changed, using the old methods. I'm most definitely in favour of the new way of doing it. This is slightly concerning. Oops. Might have to venture out to another city tile. It's not a question of being level, so we are definitely level, so we'll just try that and see what happens. Yes, okay. This is something that I do sometimes. I just use the rail when things are a bit iffy. It's definitely looking good there. I'm not going to get too bogged down in this. If there are any annoying problems, I will just fix them. And then maybe just, if I remember, come back to what happened. But it looks like I've got away with that one. So I have a friend who is a podcaster, and he doesn't like to date his podcasts, but then regularly he does. But I want to take a leaf out of his book and try not to. Date it, but it is Saturday night. It's a nice cloudy but warm Saturday night in July. And I'll be going down to watch television before bed soon, so I won't be doing lots and lots. I think something I did talk about last night was maybe doing that straight and going across and down, but might do an additional line perhaps, but I'm not planning on doing that now. We'll see what the usage is. If I have to put the station in along here, I will. Everyone deserves good transport links. For now I'm happy with that. I'll drop a save. Also find that now I'm talking more, I'm pretty much quicker from mind to my hands, but what's happening is that now my mouth is getting involved. There's a slight coordination problem, but this isn't something that I've done before. As I said, it was, you know, I usually did this very much in private. I came across the community last year. Was it maybe the year before? been on Reddit for possibly 8 years now. My daughter is 8 years old, so I was on Reddit before that. I think I was just a lurker. I didn't really contribute, and I haven't contributed on Reddit for a while. It's for no particular reason. Community in the Facebook group is a lot more friendly, and certainly a lot more not encouraging. And some of the work I've seen has been nothing short of fantastic, although there's one fella who hasn't posted for a while. He was putting in some really lovely work. When lockdown was happening, I was very much thinking of the olden days. You know, remember when we would have LAN parties, that sort of thing, and a SimCity party, that sort of thing. I mean, I don't know how viable that is, but it would be something, or even just to talk to people. Was to happen, that would probably be quite good fun. I always find that, let me just make a bigger brush now. Make a bigger brush again. Doesn't matter what you're doing, there's always someone else out there doing something that will inspire you. Very nice too. So I did mention previously, playing the game pretty much since it came out. I've probably bought the game more times over than I can imagine. Original version. Then the CD broke. Well, it didn't break, I think it just scratched, but and then I got the deluxe edition, and then I got it on Steam. It's going to be the last one I do. Is that where I want to put it? That will do, and I'll have a standard avenue coming here. And at least now we get the road coming out. Now, oh, it looks like the conversion of my old computer is going better. It's now at 50%. It's an old Dell Inspiron I used to have as a media center. For now, I just have Windows 7 on it. Pretty much just for retro gaming. Not that I do much of that, but also I have an old video capture card that will only work on Windows 7. I used to transfer some of my dad's old VHS cassette tapes. That's very much a wintertime only activity. I don't usually game that much, other than you know, my 10 or 15 minutes gaming sessions in the summer. SimCity is most definitely a venture for the winter times or autumns, or as I'm in Britain. It's a summer day where it's raining. But we haven't had many of those for a while. I'm just looking at the map for a second. When I did my plan, I really just concentrated on the real highway, the real railway and the high-speed rail, because everything else just comes after that. So now I'll just play a little bit with layout. This is something I would normally do organically, and it's usually the first thing I do when I start a game, is play it how it was intended to play, but I got myself into a mad, frantic obsession to do as much as my previous region as possible. I did a lot of this in advance, and then press play at a later date. That's kind of how my game style has developed lately. Now, there's not a lot going on here, so I don't have anything on the plan for that area. Music's gone because I've clicked on the photo viewer application, so I will be putting in industrial here, so I can probably have a little bit more in the way of roads. I'm not going to start plopping down skyscrapers yet. I'll just zone commercial, and then when the demand comes I'll just demolish and then start putting the skyscrapers in. My mouse clicking is off the scale bad this evening. She'll count. I think here I'll have some sort of service road, a small scale road with maybe some sort of bus facility. I did download some bus facilities. I would love to do more tram in Avenue, but the problem with that is I do like the smooth curves, and in a previous city in my old region I actually would have the tramway go off, do the curve and then join again. Probably realistic, but it was a lot of hassle and I didn't really like how it worked out. So here we go. So the tram is going to come along here and probably stop here. It's an easy way to get to the station. We'll be doing subways at some point once the traffic demand says. I like to first of all do subways for junctions in the thinking I might put a T in here and just have something come up to the end and have a terminus perhaps. It's the sort of thing you'll end up doing later anyway. What's the point of doing that? Visioning a park, possibly a bridge here. Another way out, but for now I did mention a loop, so get the right pixel. Still not to it is. Okay, I'm very bad at my job today. There we go. It's actually worked out very nicely because it hugs the shoreline now. I always tend to put little parks in, I don't worry about spaces. possibly another terminus, or have it go down some roads along the way. Time for some curves. Again with the flex curves, and I'm thinking here we just do some landscaping or terraforming. You see there just how steep this map is. I really love this map, but I do wish it wasn't quite as steep. I mean, it's not so much steep, it's vertical. Probably gonna want a bit more here as well. There we go. And I can really just have that as a byline, if anything else. So there is a chunk of land here. A bridge will probably come in handy, but I'll have the bridge slightly in. I'm liking the flex curve that just goes round. It's the sort of road that someone like me would use for the sake of it. It doesn't get you where you want to go terribly quickly, but it's a very nice drive. And I will get the right place soon enough. Let me... Now, I think I've downloaded some textures. These don't have the underpasses, but I tend not to use them. I did use them in my previous region. It's predictable, wasn't it? Always going to happen. I probably will be lowering here anyway, or extending out again to make some sort of marina. I'm going to have to do that again. Here's something that a lot of people always probably say. Is it gonna do it? Yeah. Now, interesting if the flex does that. Do you reckon it's going to do it? Whoa, now that is nice. Now here I think it might be bridge time. So I do a avenue pretty much all the way across. Do we have an opportunity for a rather nice bridge? It looks like. What have we got? I think Plain Avenue might be a little bit understated. I think that's probably too much. We can only see what it has. Yeah, I think that would have been too much. I might extend that out a little bit, just for that purpose. Actually, it looks a bit silly, but I was thinking to myself then, does this have Tramming Avenue? Because if it does, I like it. I still think it's possibly a bit overkill. Thankfully, money is not an object at this precise moment in time, so we can try another bridge. I might actually, before I do that, just extend here. I know there's the diagonal bridge mod. I don't know if it works with avenues. I've lost my ability to make bridges now. I'm a bad mayor. Okay, so I think mayor mode. Leveling up. Is needed here. I'll think about a bridge if there's a need for it. Let's have a look at our choices. I think I probably will end up going for a plain avenue bridge. Stone arches, not so much. I don't like these because when the water's so shallow they just look silly. I think a plain avenue. Plain avenue again. No. Just want to level both sides just enough. Okay, that's quite good. That's quite good. I'll be doing a lot more on the inside. The music's going to cut for a second. Because I've done the avenues in the commercial area really. It's a case of what comes out now into the upper suburbs. Probably do something over here just for a bit of variety. We probably have to think about this. It could very well do with a junction roundabout here actually, rather than anything else. Let me just drop a save. This might be it, and if it is, then I'll see how things go in the middle of the week. So it'll be a few days, but this is the third video now, so the other one will be coming probably tomorrow. I don't know how long I can be patient for. So for a second, I'm just going to take these away. I think that might be something that I do on these videos, is that I'll do a fair amount, say half an hour or so of whatever it is that I'm doing, and then spend half an hour breaking things. So I think an avenue there. And then we'll see. I don't want to get too much of the neighbour connection, you see, so we do have some room to play with. We need some space for a slip road. It's not letting me move up, so we'll take that. I think it's possibly too tight. Probably do something with an underpass here. Maybe another end to it there. This is just something I was thinking of. How I'm gonna get around that now. I think this is possibly gonna get quite busy. So let's see. If I do it too close, it's going to. Yeah, there we go. That was always going to mess about with the neighbourhood connection, and I bet that's probably ruined. So okay, that's a good place to stop. I will not save this. I'll have another think about it. If anything, now it is. We'll see if we get away with an A1. I just expected that it would be busy. Yes, they would have done. Let's tell you what. Let's not save that. I'm going to have a second go before we call it a night. Something tells me if I keep this up, it'll be 2 years before I get to the point where I was in my previous region, so I might not record everything. This might be quite boring for some people. I mean, if people are great at the game, but I like to think of myself as, you know, okay at the game. I create some nice things. If I start a city, I can probably have it ready within a week. I think at the moment I'm trying to be too much of a perfectionist, but I'm also having fun at the same time. I am quite enjoying doing the videos. I'll probably do drag patterns. See, they are too close though, so it's not too close. And let's go back and sort this out. Tell you what, in fact, we'll go to there. That seems to be the safe point. Okay, we'll do an A1. If it gets busy, it gets busy. Actually, let's do the flex heights. One thing about my previous region is I started using the Real Highway mod after really not trying to, but cities have been very train centric, but I wanted to do that because I always reached a point where avenues just didn't cut it. It was just too much. I should really save this, but I am feeling dangerous. That was it there, wasn't it? Let me just change. Are we feeling dangerous? Oh, that's certainly is a dangerous slipway, but I'll take that. That's what we'll be able to save. I really fancy doing that again. Possibly I've done a B1 there and have that slip road going down. Something tells me this is not going to be as rapid city as I usually do. This is not going to be done within a week. I've changed my mind far too many times already. After that, it looks like I'm not going to be allowed to do it. Let me see if I can put it here. It's going to break the neighbour connection. Okay, so this is something if I wasn't recording, I'd mess about with a bit more. Also have to try and get the road in, probably with the network widening mod. I'll do some testing. Certainly won't be recording the testing because I've never tried to get the network widening mod to work with real highway. I'm more of a railways guy. Gonna be really cheeky and just see what we can do. This is asking for trouble, isn't it? Well, you could probably get away with it if I raised the railway, but I really don't want to do that. Let's try something else for fun. It's a new game called Navigate Your Menus and Hope for the Best. That might work. That might not work. Well, I suppose if I really wanted to, I could do something a little cheeky. Well, as we're at the experimental stage, let's see. I have a feeling this is a 50-50 chance that this is going to be save worthy. And there will definitely be no bleed here. Now let's see if we can get the extended one working this way around. probably thinking, and you'll be right to think that this fella, he certainly knows the railway menu better than the real highway one. What am I doing? That's what happens when you're not concentrating. I'm too busy yapping. Ooh, that's nice. If I was really clever, I'd have the avenue come between these. The extended. Oh, wouldn't you know it, huh? Those neighbourhood connections lasted long. I've got a feeling probably more 60% now. 70% that I'll end up saving this. I don't want to spend too much more time. It's 11 o'clock at night, so I might do a save if there's potential for this to be a goer. We will see. I think. Oh. I suppose I could split it up further behind. I tell you what, I do like the look of that. That's going to most definitely be a screenshot at the end of this. Let me find the right piece. So this is why I prefer to use Subway 4 at the beginning. Oh, it's too tight, it's too close. This can't hurt to try. This might not be safe worthy, so at the beginning of the next video this might not be here. Or I'll just move the, mind you, the median is only there because of the bridge. I could probably lose the median and do that. Let's see, are you feeling lucky? Oh my word. If that works when I go to press play, I will be astonished. If not, I will be renovating very, very soon after pressing play. Let's just subway those up. Another reason why I don't like to use too much subway at the beginning is because it can take a while to load the game to do things that are coming out of underground mode. Now, as much as I like this, I'll drop a save. I'm probably going to use the standard turnings and not the extended ones. as good as these look, so that screenshot didn't happen. Mind you, I haven't clicked save yet, so there's every chance that this still will be a disaster. I'm happy enough, I think. Is that gonna be? Oh, that's nice. Okay, so there's a bit more room here. You could do an overpass. I wonder if there's any mods for some sidings, you know, that could go to the end. So let's put in an avenue underpass by way of a placeholder. There we'll do it. There we'll do it. I've gone too far. That's the one there, gone there, gone there. I think grass. I have gone too far. I've definitely gone too far. There's one of these, if you do it enough you get grass, do you not? There you go, rotate for other junctions and transparent surface. Well, I don't really want a transparent surface even. I want a nice... I'm gonna have to zoom in. I don't think I have a choice. Okay, transparent surface it is then. There we go. Always hover over to make sure that's okay. I think that's save worthy. I'll somehow get that off onto here now. So one from this side, one from that side, and then one from here. We'll see how that goes. I might definitely play with this offline and might just show how that gone. We're probably heading towards another round now, so the conversion of last night's video is now 86%. Old Bertha is chundling on. I think might even convert it to something a little less wide, although it's guaranteed to be busy. It was a case of getting that up and over, which is worrying me. Now I've saved it, I'm beginning to regret it. Just out of interest, we'll see. I don't expect this will work. I think it would be a disaster in any event, but there's something for me to play with, so it's a challenge. It's not something I've tried to do before. Do one on that side, one on this side. There's more room here. Bear with me while I think. We have a save. What can possibly go wrong? That could go wrong. I could break that neighbour connection again. Can always have the other part of that junction coming the other side, perhaps, of the river here. Oh, let's see, shall we? We have a save. What on earth is it doing? I've probably gone too far away now. What do you reckon? Oh! Do you know, I might do some terraforming and put some retaining walls in there if this works. But that is definitely enough for tonight. It gives me something to think about. It's being mean to me. Wow. Oh, I had it then. No. Okay. Probably end up beating that hour. A load of people out there saying, "Oh, what are you getting so excited about before? That's rubbish." That's the one. Is that and the neighbour connection coming off the underground? I've certainly used a huge slice of my allocated good luck for the day. Now, no, I'm not that lucky, but let's see. If I can get that round, I'm almost certainly calling it a night. In fact, I am calling it a night. It's far too late. Maybe a 45 degree would be better. Ooh. Apart from these two bits here. do it? Oh, there's always something, isn't there? Oh my word. I think a 45 degree would have been better. But I do have to get it off here. I always get slightly confused because we're used to driving on the left hand side here, so that's traffic going that way. Well, let's see if that works. That's traffic coming off. I'm thinking a 45 degree is possibly better. Oh, this is... save it. I'm not unhappy with that. I am absolutely not unhappy with that. But I feel the need, with 93% of the previous video being exported in OpenShot, to try my luck one last time. Oh, doesn't leave me much. Need to try and get it here. We still have the same problem. Oh, we have a... okay. Alright, let me hide paths because that has a habit of temporarily, until the next save, making the region view look quite horrible. I'm quite happy with that. I've achieved a major objective. I didn't press the play button. Nothing caught fire. I need to sort out my resolution slightly. There's a screenshot there, a little teaser, and lots more to think about. I'm quite happy with that. I think maybe I'll do the video to finish this little junction off here next time. It will probably take as many goes. It will definitely take as many goes, as much time anyway, and possibly take a few goes, so it's probably a video in its own right. I'm quite happy with that. Couple of screenshots. I do like the curves. If I can get that one in, that's even better. This is going to look really good when it's decorated. I am very excited. So apologies, I do photo spam, but I do really enjoy it, and this is going to be possibly the most exciting point of any video. So in future, just fast forward to the last 2 minutes where I just take some screenshots, and you can save yourself a lot of time listening to me rambling on. But I do hope that you do enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. It's great fun. I love this game a lot, and Yeah, bear with me. I'm trying to do lots of things that I've never done before, so it's going to take time. I've got lots of curves, and that will give problems what to work out. This is going to be fun because we're going to need an underpass here, and this it could be this turns into a 90-degree and then a go. But again, I don't know. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it. I am not unhappy, but we have. Well, achieved the objectives and a whole lot more as well, so I am incredibly happy with that. And the export from OpenShot is 99.25%, so there will be a video this evening, but it's not going to be this one. I'm going to do that really cool thing. I've never done this before, by the way, but I'm going to do that really cool thing and have them all stacked up and ready to go, and leave people wanting more or possibly less. I hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, I have immensely. It's the highlight might have been me taking some screenshots, but this is getting close. There will be some screenshots posted immediately after this video. And thank you for watching, listening, and putting up with me. It'll be more fast-paced soon. Transport is always something that takes a while, probably the first 3 or 4 days, and when I say 3 or 4 days, I'm talking about 2 or 3 hour sessions, not the couple of hours that we've spent so far, or the 2.5 hours in little bits. So we're probably on target. It'll take a while. I'm not going anywhere soon. I'll keep recording. If no one wants to listen, that's fine. If no one watches, so I like playing this game, and it'll be something that somebody might stumble on in the future. It's all good. It's all good to me. I'm gonna drop a save, post some screenshots, and one video. Have a very good evening. Have a very good day, and hopefully be inspired and certainly enjoy yourselves. Take care. Bye bye.